This is going to be the first of 2 or 3 demo videos going over texturing, texture mapping, and some procedural techniques that you can put on your models. And these are going to be very basic, just procedural textures. Not getting too complicated and getting into some later demos, some UV texture mapping and using the UV tools. So to do this, I'm just going to start by opening up a plane here, and I'm going to size this plane up here like so and just bring it up off the grid, and then with it selected I'm going to press 6. So that's going to be shaded texture mode. If I press the 6 key, there's no texture on this now, so you can't see it, but it's going to be we're going to be able to see the texture that I apply on here. I'm also going to go into the inputs here for the polyplane, and I'm going to change the subdivision width and height to 5. So it'll give me 5 subdivisions, U and V. Okay, what I want to do is I have a image here. This is a brick wall image that has been worked on in Photoshop, so it will repeat and tile. And this is just a very small image. It's not very, it doesn't have a good resolution, but it'll work for what we want to do here. So to put that image onto this plane here, I'm going to select the plane, right mouse, click, assign new material. This will bring the assign new material window up, and I'm going to go to the 4th one down, and I'm going to apply a Lambert. And then we can rename that Lambert brick. There we go. Okay, so now we have a material assigned here, but nothing really, I haven't given it any attributes. I'm going to go to the color section, and over here, this little checkerboard box, I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to find a file, and I'm going to find that brick wall file, and I have stored that file in my project folder in the textures folder. It'll bring up in the attributes editor the image name, and I'm going to go to this folder icon here, press on that. This will bring me to my projects folder. I'm going to go to the texture folder, and there's the file. There's the brick wall file, and I'm going to open it up, and there you go. I have that brick wall image placed on the polygon here, and if I were to do a little test render here, you can see what it's going to look like if it's rendered. However, you can see that it's just put it on, it's just put the brick wall image on the file, and it hasn't really sized it up. So what I want to do when I'm still in that attributes editor for that brick wall image file, you're going to see a tab in here, place 2D texture, and you can find that if I were to go into the shape here. If you were to navigate out, I'm going to find that again. You click on the image, go to the brick image here, go to navigate to the color, and that brings you into this window here if you were to navigate away and get lost. Click on the place 2D texture, and this is going to give you some 2D texture placement attributes. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, make sure that wrap U and wrap V are checked. That's going to be a tiling function there, and I'm going to repeat the UV 5, just like I have here. I have 5 UV sections on the polyplane. I'm going to give it 5 there and 5 there. And what we have now is a nice tiled repeating brick wall plane. Now this is pretty good. This will work. It's kind of flat though, and I want to add a little bit of texturing and bump mapping to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the polygon itself. Whoop, get rid of that, and it's going to bring me back to the attributes of that. And in the same section where I put the color and the texture map on it, I'm going to scroll down a little bit below it is bump mapping, and I'm going to click on the little checkerboard there, and I'm going to, for the bump mapping section, I'm going to load the file, and it's going to be that same brick wall file that we showed before. So it's going to bring you into this. It's going to give you some bump values here, but I'm going to find that file, and I'm going to click into the File 2 tab up here and load up that brick file right on top of that image file there, and it is the same image. Now if we were to do a render here, you can see what it does. It is put up like a bump map. It's given it some definition, but it's not the same size as the image file that I have underneath it. So what I want to do is I want to scroll back to the bump values here, and I'm going to go to the bump value section, and I'm going to give it the same repeat UV values as I gave the image map below it. And now if I were to do a render, you can see, let's go a little closer so we can see a little better. If I were to do a test render of that, you can see it gives it a bump map, which gives it some definition. And basically what a bump map does is it takes the values of the image and it gives it some depth. This is an actual depth. This isn't displacing the geometry, but is putting on sort of a light effect, which gives it the appearance of giving it some depth. If you wanted to check this a little bit more, you go into the File section, and let's just go here. I'm going to check on that. Go into the bump mapping section, go into the File 2. Where is that? Oh, I always lose this. I have to find this again. Is it a place 2D texture? Where is that? It's the File 2. Oh, I remember. I go into File 2 here, and with the File 2 in this box, I'm going to navigate forward to the bump 2D attributes, and this will give me some control here. And I'm going to make an IPR render there. And what that'll do is it'll give me this render here, and I'm going to just drag out a little display box, and I'm going to play with the bump depth. Let's just make the bump depth really, really severe, and that's a little too much. And if I went a little bit below, -1, that's going to give me a different kind of bump depth. But I kind of like it the way it was at the default 1. That gave me some nice looking bump here, but you can play around with that as well